Hi guys. I know it's been a while. While yes, it's been 4 months since I've uploaded a video, I have been thinking about new videos to put out, and I have been building new projects. For today, I have a pretty neat project. This is a second generation Suzuki Hayabusa 1300cc. I was inspired by my friend to build this bike because he would not stop talking about motorcycles, and also I've always been interested in building a bike as a change in direction from cars. I think I did this bike justice, but reminder that it is my first bike, and I've never done shaping like this before. Unless you count the Viper. But I think it's time that we dive deeper into this build. First off, this bike was made in a 1-to-1 player scale. What does that mean? Well, that means I'm an idiot, because it's very hard to build in this scale. But it does look a lot cooler than a fat-ass car next to the player model. In specifics, this bike is 5.2 studs tall, 10 studs in length, 2.4 studs in width, and for reference, the default Roblox character height is 5 studs tall. Next, I want to talk about how many things that I am missing. Some are really simple things that I'm just too lazy to work on, but here's a list of them. There's the Suzuki badges, the Gixxer 1300cc sticker, the Hayabusa graphic, the reflectors on the rear and front, a chain for the rear wheel, some gauge cluster detail, mirrors, but that was by choice, grip details, whatever this bulbous part is from the engine, and lastly the rear fender thingy. Moving on from parts that I didn't build, I want to talk about the features I did build. This bike has working suspension and moving parts, such as the swing arm and front shocks. The front wheel assembly moves somewhat accurately from what I know, like turning angle and the shocks moving. And also the kickstand that comes out. Besides moving parts, there's also details like the gear shifter and the rear brake, and the handlebar and gauges. If you're wondering what the chassis / mechanics of the bike looks like, well, if you know me, you know that my mechanics always look messy like this. If you want me to make a video on how to make your own bike chassis, I can try, I guess, but here's a simplified version of it that I used as a prototype. With the chassis, there is a lot of restrictions I wish there wasn't. I wanted to add a tilt motion for when you turn on the bike, but due to Build-A-Boat wheels having this fat-ass block here, it scrapes and ruins all the motion of the bike. Before I move on to my last section, I want to go over the difficulties and challenges I had to go through. The following photos are all dated screenshots that I had to use many times for reference and overlay. For you that don't understand, I would take a screenshot of my build, then place a transparent reference of the bike on top to keep myself in track with proportions. Some parts of the bike took 2 to 3 iterations of trial and error, and some parts I low-key just gave up on and called it a day. Moving on to my final section, my opinion. It's my first bike I have ever built, and I have never seen anyone else build something similar. Out of all my builds, I'd rate this build a 9 out of 10. It's of course my latest build, and I'm quite proud of how it turned out. I think it's a good example that shows my progression over the years, and I hope to see more people build sports bikes, or well, bikes like this in general. That's basically all. So, see y'all in another 8 months.